The GL4 Pro is now on its V3, but how is it actually different from the V2 or the V1 of the unit? I'm here to tell you exactly how this unit has improved and whether that actually is something that should convince you to get the upgraded version. The V3 of the GL4 Pro featured a couple of very specific changes which I think are absolutely essential for the unit and in some cases totally needed as opposed to the V2. There's three real main changes. Number one is the selector switch on the side. The old selector switch for the GL4 Pro featured a flat surface for toggling, and that made it really hard to use with gloves or under night vision because that switch was so small and it was hard to tell which mode it was actually in. The new version has a flip-out lever on that side selector knob, meaning it is much easier to turn now, to know which position you're in, and to use in a setting like using night vision or when you have gloves on, which is a significant improvement as opposed to the V2 of this unit. If that's something that's really important to you for usability, I would highly advise that you get the V3 as opposed to any V2 units. The V3 also brought some changes to the activation buttons on the back of the unit. Previous units had a single side toggle, meaning when you pushed one side of the buttons down, the other side would also not push down, and these buttons would not retain their position. The new buttons on the side react much more like standard pistol lights. When you push down on one side, the other side will push up, they'll hold their position, and you can toggle them back and forth in this position. Functionally, these are still very similar in their use case to the V2 of the GL4 Pro, but this will allow for a little bit more usability and was requested through user feedback. The third change is especially important to handgun users. The bottom lugs on this unit have been modified to include a more adjustable system. This adjustability allows you to mount in different positions on your rail, whereas before you were really limited in how you could mount it and which frames it would fit. We got a lot of user feedback saying this laser unit couldn't be mounted against the trigger guard, which was problematic in some use cases, but because of this new adjustability, you'll be able to mount this on any position on the rail you want to. And those are the biggest changes we think matter for the V3 versus the V2. If those are changes you do consider in a build, which for me they were, I would consider getting the V3 of the GL4 Pro, which fixes a lot of problems that you guys had and brought to us. If you want to pick one of these up, you can go to defensedistributors.com, the link in the description.